You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
What's up, everyone? It's Rob DeBoer with your Friday fitness tip from Pruvit, and today we're going to approach a controversial topic with sodium, salt, and science and what it really means. And I think there's a lot of misinformation and, even worse, a lack of education out in the realm of experts, the medical community, the dietitians, the nutritionists, and my favorite, the personal trainer who has an opinion. So with our Keto OS, our ketone operating system from Pruvit, when you look at the label, some of these experts suggest that the sodium content can cause high blood pressure and hypertension. And my response would be, well, do you have high blood pressure? And if the answer is no, that conversation's over. It's not an issue. It's not relevant to you. But if you do have high blood pressure, I always ask this: did your doctor happen to mention that you should increase the level of potassium in your diet? And not supplemental potassium. Foods that are rich in potassium, like broccoli, leafy greens, kale, cantaloupe, avocado. And the answer is usually no, they didn't mention any of that. Well, that's the problem we have. That's the lack of education, because you're only getting half the story. So let's break it down. All of these sodium benchmarks, or the upper limits, I think it's worth noting they're set by the same governing bodies that told you high fat was bad, low fat is good. And we know the end of that story. So with that in mind, look at the research. For every study that says sodium levels are related to high blood pressure and hypertension, I can show you 2 studies that are more recent that might contradict that. However, I'm going to explain really why it's a non-issue, because our body is very smart. It will auto-correct itself. Let me give you an example. I worked out today in the hot sun, the elements of Columbia, South Carolina, and I came in, I was sweating, and I was thirsty. Well, our body is really smart and it wants to survive. It has this state called homeostasis, fancy way of saying internal balance, constant and stable balance through these sensors in our body and this incredible control center called our brain. So, as a result, I'm come in, my body temperature is rising. The sensors tell the brain, hey, here's what's going on. The brain says, let's cool them down. Let's sweat. Let's rehydrate them. Let's make them thirsty. Another example might be the 3-gallon challenge, when I told people, hey, a few weeks back, drink a gallon of water a day for 3 days and see the impact that it makes. Well, one of the common denominators was this: people went to the bathroom more often. And why did that happen? Well, again, the body wants to be in a stable, constant state. So through homeostasis, the body sees that there's excess fluids from the water that they're drinking. And it speaks to the brain. The brain signals the kidneys to get rid of the excess, to remove it. You go to the bathroom. That's how the body operates, and that's why it's so important to understand what sodium really is. And let's start there. Sodium is not table salt. It's a big misunderstanding. Sodium is actually a positively charged element. It's actually a metal. It's called a cation, and it combines with an anion that is a negatively charged element, in this case chloride. So you've got Na positive, opposites attract, Cl negative, and you've got NaCl, voila, table salt. And the reason that's important is because table salt is 40% sodium. The rest is chloride and trace minerals. And the reason that's important is to understand the balance and the role sodium, chloride, potassium, and magnesium, these electrolytes, the role that they play in the body. Remember, our body wants that level of homeostasis. So how do we achieve that? Well, let's factor or focus on 2 electrolytes in particular: sodium, Na, potassium, K. they counteract with each other. They synergistically work together with what's called the NAK pump. In other words, Na for sodium, K for potassium, pump, and its job in every cell is to pump in potassium, pump out sodium. So common sense tells you if those are off balance, if there's a deficiency in one, well, we need to balance those out. So when a doctor says, or a nutritionist, or that trainer says, hey, you need to lower your level of sodium or this is going to happen, in the same breath, they should be saying you need to increase your level of potassium. But the truth is, they never bring that topic up. Because what they don't know, and that's the whole purpose of this video. So, what can you do about it? Well, number one, processed foods, that's the enemy. Loaded with sodium. We've got a product called Keto OS, the ketone operating system, where the benefits far outweigh what anyone's opinion is on the sodium level, and here's why. Number one, we've already established that those electrolytes have to balance each other out. Ketones are an incredible appetite controller. There's no insulin response, so there's no spike and crash associated with carbs. So it's easier to turn away from those processed, quick, fast-acting carbohydrates that turn to glucose. It also has incredible protein sparing or preserving and protecting muscle properties, which what? Increases your BMI, your body mass index, so more muscle, less fat. Again, all leads to a formula to minimize blood pressure, to eliminate hypertension, or to stay away from that altogether. Now, let me make another comment, and that is this. When we start making small changes in our diet, one of the most important ones you can make, and I hear provers talk about this quite often, is get away from refined sugars, but even refined salt. NaCl, table salt, is 98% NaCl, sodium chloride. The rest is some fillers and man-made chemicals sprinkled in. No nutritional value or any substance. However, Himalayan salt, which is what I recommend, is 85% NaCl, and it's all natural. However, that other 15% is very valuable amounts of trace minerals that your body uses. In addition, Himalayan salt in particular has a great sodium to potassium ratio. So that again contributes to getting to that position of homeostasis in the body. So, some subtle changes you can make. Keto OS will help make those changes realistic. I always like to tell people it puts you in a position to win. And so with that, understand sodium and salt, not the enemy. It's that balance that you need to control. Look at the research, look what it suggests, and make your decisions accordingly. Guys, that's Fitness Friday for today. Don't be afraid to share this information with others. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we just want you to be better.
Yeah. It's been a ride. I guess I had to go to that place to get to this one. Now some of you might still be in that place. If you're trying to get out, just follow me. I'll get you.